You ever see a room go dead silent in under 10 seconds? I mean, 1 minute, everybody's laughing, slapping desks, thinking they're on top of the world, then boom, not a sound. That's what happened the day Josh Matthews thought he could break the quietest girl in school, and instead learned what real power looks like. You know what I mean? That moment you realize you messed with the wrong person? Yeah, that happened. I watched it. And if you'd been there, you'd never forget it either. So, let me back up a sec. North Hills High had its cast of characters, but no one played their part quieter than Amira James. From her very first day, she moved through the halls like she was invisible by choice. Never shy, just tuned in like she noticed things the rest of us missed: the cliques, the whispers, the pecking order. Her hair was always pulled back in the same no-nonsense braid. Plain jeans, old sneakers, not a drop of makeup. You'd be forgiven for thinking she was just another face in the crowd. Except the truth was she saw all of us, even when we didn't see her. And Josh, he was the kind of guy you could hear before you saw him, all booming voice and cocky swagger, the center of his own universe. His dad ran half the town. His brother's name was up on the football stadium lights. So Josh acted like he owned every locker, every hallway. He needed people to look at him to react. That's why Amira drove him nuts. She didn't flinch when he threw out those cheap jokes, didn't blush or stutter when he tossed fake compliments her way. She just let them bounce right off. To Josh, being ignored felt like the biggest insult in the world. So he started pushing, first with words, then with rumors. She's crazy, you know? He'd say a little too loud in the cafeteria, or probably mute, that one can't talk, can't think. It was always just enough for her to hear, hoping for a crack in that calm. But nothing. Not a wince, not a sigh. She just kept going, until the day Josh decided words weren't enough. That's when things got real. It was fourth period English, you know, the kind of day when the air's heavy and the class is half asleep. Group presentations. Of course, Amira chose to work alone. She always did. She's up at the front, holding her notes, looking right past all the eyes, pretending not to watch. Most of the class barely glanced up, just waiting for the bell. But Josh and his boys, they saw an opportunity. I remember it clear as day. Josh, slouched in the back row, balls up a piece of paper, lobs it straight at her. Hits her binder, bounces off. She doesn't even blink. That, somehow, makes him angrier. Like, what does it take to get under this girl's skin? So he stands up, all swagger, and strides right to the front. The teacher's out of the room, helping another group. Josh gives her shoulder a shove. Not hard enough to hurt, just enough for his friends to snicker, to show off. But the air shifted. Amira staggered a bit, and for a second, her eyes flashed not fear, not even anger, just this look like she'd finally had enough. 10 seconds. That's all it took for the mood to change. She steadied herself, lifted her head, looked straight at him. The whole room froze. You could almost hear the blood rushing in our ears. Josh, still playing tough, says, "Got something to say, Mouse?" Trying to keep control. And then I swear, nobody saw it coming. She drops her binder, slow, hands calm, moves in one smooth motion. Grabs his wrist, twists it behind his back, pins him flat against the whiteboard. Loud smack, echoing through the room. Josh yelps. For once, he's not the loudest guy here. The whole class, jaws on the floor. Even a couple of kids filming, phones up, too shocked to do anything else. Amira leans in close, voice steady but sharp, like she's done this 100 times. You think being loud makes you powerful? You think silence means fear? Let me educate you. She holds him there, just long enough for him to really feel it, then lets go. Josh stumbles back, rubbing his arm, eyes darting, suddenly so small. The teacher walks in right at that moment, sees Josh, sees Amira, sees the whole class sitting stunned and silent. She's lost for words, but Amira just picks up her binder, smooth as you please, and says, "He laid hands on me." I responded. Then she walks back to her seat like nothing happened. Of course, the video hit every phone in school by lunchtime. You know how it goes: 30 seconds of chaos, replayed 1,000 times. For some, it was the best thing they'd seen all year. For others, it was a warning. Josh, he got suspended, not just for that shove, but for the months of bullying that video finally brought to light. Suddenly, everyone had a story about something he'd done. His crew? Scattered, trying to lay low. Reputation? Done. He never really bounced back from that. But what surprised people most wasn't Josh getting knocked off his throne, it was what happened with Amira. She didn't turn into the new queen bee or anything. She didn't want the spotlight. But now, when she spoke, people listened. Teachers called on her. Kids moved over in the halls. Not out of fear, but out of respect. She'd shown everybody that you can only push someone so far before they push back. Here's where it gets interesting, though. A couple weeks later, a girl named Mia Tiny Thing, voiced like a whisper, found Amira in the library. She'd been dealing with her own bullies for months, didn't know who to turn to. She asks, barely audible, "How did you do it? Weren't you scared?" And Amira, she smiles, the kind of smile that says she understands more than she lets on. "Silence is okay," she says, "but it doesn't mean you stay quiet forever. When it's time, your voice will know what to do." From that day, the two of them started a self-defense club for girls. Not just about fighting, it was about standing up, being aware, setting boundaries. The club grew bit by bit. Girls who never spoke up before started showing up, learning not just how to throw a punch, but how to walk a little taller. Sometimes a teacher would pop in, and even a couple of the boys asked to join, but you could tell for the girls, it was more than just practice. It was taking back something that had been missing. One afternoon, I watched Amira standing outside after practice, the sun setting behind the school, her braid catching the breeze, girls laughing and stretching around her. She looked so calm, so in control. And in that golden light, you could see what people had missed all along, that real strength isn't loud, isn't about shoving your way to the front. It's about knowing who you are and not letting anyone take that from you. Some people think silence is weakness, but silence real, chosen silence, that's control. And when you finally break it, the whole world listens. Now, people still talk about what happened that day, and there's always some debate. Did Amira go too far? Was Josh just getting what he deserved? Did the school do enough? Or was it all just too little, too late? Depends who you ask. But here's what I know. Never mistake quiet for weak. Sometimes the strongest voices are the ones you haven't heard yet. And when they speak up well, you better pay attention. So what do you think? Was it justice, or just another school story gone viral? Drop your thoughts below. Where do you draw the line between standing up for yourself and going too far? Let's talk about it.
Xin chào các bạn, mình là Trinh, mình phụ trách viết content. Trên đây là những công việc của mình, là mình lên mạng xã hội tìm hiểu những video.
It's cold, yeah. Next one? Alright. Thank you, man. Hey, if you guys have any trouble, let somebody know. Please.
After the tree to hold on to.
Yeah, they're